Good afternoon, everyone. This is Andy Jacob with DotCom Magazine. And for today's show, we are so excited to have our guest. Eric Dombach he's known worldwide as what he calls the coach's coach. Eric has put together an amazing business. Not only does he coach companies and businesses to help them elevate and do phenomenally well with their businesses, but he is a coach's coach. So in other words, he coaches coaches to become a business coach. And I was so excited to invite Eric on the show today to tell us all about this, because we have a lot of people that have the chops to become a business coach who watch this show. And I think right now they're going to learn a lot from the master. So Eric, congratulations on your success and thanks for coming on board today.
Thanks. Such a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Andy.
It's great to have you. So we're going to more focus on the coaches business that you have here, because I looked into it and I'm just amazed on what you've been able to do to take people who have never really coached before in their business or have never coached before as a business and turn them into a successful business coach. So can you tell us just a little bit high level what you do at the Coach's Coach, where you make rocket fuel for business coaches?
Sure. Well, all of this started back in 2001 when I started my first business coaching practice, and I'm working with, the owner managers of small businesses doing anywhere from $250,000 a year to $25 million a year. And we were doing such an effective job coaching these owner managers of these businesses. I mean, we're talking about HVAC companies and healthcare and software as a service and manufacturing. And we were doing such an effective job that I need to start hiring business coaches to work for me and scale that business. So over a 4-year period, we went from zero to over $1 million a year in business coaching revenue. And so again, you need to start hiring business coaches. Well, I developed a process of bringing a business coach into my firm and starting them at zero, and within 90 days, having them billing over $20,000 in business coaching fees. Now, obviously, some of that stayed with the firm, but it made for a really great living for these business coaches I brought into my firm. And so that's how we went from zero to over $1 million a year. And then I was able to sell that business for over $1 million. But that process is the same process we use now, all these years, about 15 years later. It's the same process we use to help business coaches all around the world get started and build their business coaching practice.
That is absolutely awesome. We're going to fast forward this to today, because anyone that wants to know about you or know about Coach's Coach, all they need to do is Google you and they'll find, just so many different references and articles and places where you've spoken and all your videos and all of your expertise online. So, we're going to fast forward to, let's say someone's watching this right now that, is thinking about becoming a business coach, but they just don't know how to do it. They don't know what training to look for. They're worried. Their head's not in the right place. Maybe they feel like they don't have the chops to do it, but deep inside, they love to educate people and they would like to make money by doing so. For those people watching this that maybe can't kind of get off the couch to make that first step, maybe their head's not in the right place, what would you say to those people? I know you have a word for it. You call it head trash, where your head gets kind of miscombobulated a bit. What would you say to those people that, want to take that action step but just can't take it right now to get themselves going in this wonderful career?
Yeah. Hey, great question. We have, over the years, have had thousands of coaches come our way. We've got over 6,000 coaches now in our network around the world. It's growing every single week. The vast majority of people who come to us because they want to start a business coaching career have just been through some kind of pretty significant life transition. Maybe they've sold a business, cashed out, and they're feeling great. Maybe they've gotten laid off, furloughed. Downsized out of their job, and so they're feeling kind of bad. Maybe they've just been through a painful divorce. So there are a lot of things that can force people into a career transition, good or bad, that can have people's heads spinning. So it's very normal. And I would just say to you, if that's you, that's all right, But the people that come to us are those who have developed some ability in running small to mid-sized businesses. Again, $250,000 to $500,000 to 50 million or even 100 million. I've got some clients over the years that are getting toward 100 million. So if you've got a background in small to mid-sized business and you've got some serious chops, some expertise, marketing, sales, operations, talent management, lean Six Sigma, finance, if you've got some serious chops, then that is a marketable expertise, that can really make for a great career. And so what we want to do is we want to help you get beyond, what's happened within the last few months and really take stock of what you're bringing to the table, because what you are bringing to the table really can change the fortunes of many hundreds of small businesses once we get you connected to them and teach you how to monetize what you know.
That's awesome. And I've looked at your program. I've known you now for just a short period of time, but I'm very impressed with what I've seen. The coaches that are going to be calling you after they see this or reach out to you to learn more about it, a lot of them are thinking to themselves, I don't really have a system to make this a successful business, because in business, it's all about a replicatable system. And you've been able to provide that. Can you tell us just a little bit about that so the people watching this will understand how you're able to systematically help them become successful?
Yeah. So early in my business coaching career, I also needed a business coaching system. And I experimented with a bunch of things and learned from a lot of really great people. Eventually started working on an undergraduate degree and then eventually a master's degree in business administration. But there was a lot to learn. But one of the things that emerged over the first few years was this business model that we refer to as the 5 steps to freedom. That's the name of the business model, and it's become our central business model. And here's basically what it says. Hey, every business owner goes into business because they want freedom. And by that we mean, of course, free cash flow, free time, and then freedom or peace of mind, right? Yeah. This is why business owners, probably including you and me, this is why we start our businesses. And so they all go through this same developmental process. I've observed now, having coached a couple hundred small businesses over the last 15 to 20 years, they all go through the same process. The first step in that process is called creation. This is a pre-revenue business where they do a bunch of market research and put together a business model and then launch. And that plunges them right into the chaos step where they're investing heavily, a lot of time, a lot of blood and sweat and years, and they're growing their business, building a team to help them. Unfortunately, a very small percentage of those survive the chaos step, but those who do come into the control step. And these are businesses now that have positive cash flow, though the business owner is still working their brains out. But what we do at the control step is we help that business owner really start to measure what's going on in the business. We put incentives in place for the employees, the team, and we continue to expand that business until it hits the prosperity step. And here's where the business is throwing off cash and the business owner can start to feel like they've got a life again. And
right.
we can do that because the business is tapping into economies of scale, systematizing operations, and the business owner is able to specialize and really focus on their highest and best use. And that leads us to the freedom step, where now that business owner can reproduce itself. They can do a vertical integration strategy. They can acquire other businesses that are in their same space and begin to do a roll up and eventually have a group of companies that they can sell to private equity. But they get to harvest, their efforts and enjoy the freedom that they dreamed of. Our mission as business coaches is to help business owners understand where they are on this 5 steps to freedom and take them the rest of the way. We want to take them all the way on that journey to freedom. And this is what we do. And taking a business owner through this process is typically a multi-year process. So we're not consultants. We've got a lot of technical expertise, but what we really do is we walk with that business owner and take them on a journey and take them where they've been wanting to go from the beginning.
That's awesome. And there are just so many businesses out there that have benefited from your expertise and your coaches' expertise. So congratulations on doing such a fine job with that. Now, if I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you and I want to go ahead and sort of get involved or learn a little bit more about this, and I'm saying to myself, I'd really be good at this and I know I can make money, but maybe I don't know enough about multiple businesses. Maybe in my career, I've specialized in wholesaling, or I've specialized in retailing, or I've specialized on online sales, or maybe in accounting. But they're hearing this. Does your system give someone with a specialty the opportunity to really sail and soar as a business coach?
It really does, because there are different ways in which a coach can focus their practice. So, for example, you can focus your practice on functional areas of expertise. So, hey, I got a background in accounting and finance. I got a background in marketing and digital and content, or I got a background in sales and sales leadership, or I got a background in talent management, psychometrics. Whatever your area of expertise is, there are going to be small to mid-sized businesses, $500,000 to 50 or 100 million, who need that. Okay, so all we got to do is figure out who your avatar is, who's your ideal customer, and then just pitch you to them. And that's what we do with coaches. Typically in the first 30 days of the process we take you through is we say, hey, what's your area of expertise, your functional area of interest, and let's have you go out. Now, another way that we can do this is by thinking in terms of the actual vertical you want to be in. We refer to this, we have this language that we use called local legend or global guru. And that idea is a pretty simple one, which means if you want to be a local legend, you'll work with any kind of business in your area, where you live. And you'll just ply your trade. So you might be working with, again, any variety of companies, and your marketing strategies will reflect the fact that what you're doing is more localized. You're a local legend. But you can also be a global guru, which is where you are marketing to businesses in that specific niche, that vertical where you've spent most of your career, and you can market globally. That's why we call you a global guru. And so we've got a marketing mix, if you will, a set of lead generation strategies that are going to be most useful when you're trying to just go all around the world. And so you don't have to figure all that out right now. I just want you to know there's options for you. In becoming a business coach, we can help you find your path, help you figure out who you want to serve, and help you roll out the lead generation strategies to get you in front of those people.
This is absolutely amazing. Now, I know you have a recent success story that we won't get into too much right now, but one of the people who you onboarded as a business coach, a young lady, was able to bring on, I believe, 6 or 7 clients in her first 30 or 45 days. So she's doing well already. Now, for people watching this who, might think about the investment that is necessary to become a business coach under your program, what would you say to them if they're sort of, not 100% sure about the investment necessary to become a coach, a successful coach, and make this a career for themselves?
Yeah. Well, it used to be that you needed to plan on investing anywhere from 100 to 200,000, to get into this business as a business coach. And that's the way it was when I got started back in the early 2000s. But these days, just because of the proliferation of obviously, digital technology and web-based conference software like this one, the costs are just much lower now than they used to be. And so, we've got a range of programs and incentives and financing options that really we can make fit just about any reasonable budget. And this is a very high margin, low cost, work from home business model. It's really quite beautiful.
That's beautiful. And for those people thinking about it, reach out to Eric. Eric, after getting to know him just again for a short period of time, is available. He's an expert in his field. He wants people to be successful, and that's the real key and the real reason why Eric is successful, because he puts other people's success in front of his. And that's one of the wonderful things that he's able to do with his mission of making phenomenal coaches that are able to coach businesses throughout the world. Now, someone watching this might be thinking to themselves, I don't really have the time or the patience to put together a foolproof system. And we spoke about this earlier in the program, but I just want to go into this again a little bit, because from what I've seen, you've been able to put together a pretty comprehensive system from A to Z, so that someone, if they just follow it, it will lead them to success. So let's just brush on that just a little bit and tell us what that A to Z system looks like high level, so people can be confident when they reach out to you, Eric, that they're going to get something that is really a beautifully designed system.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, we've been working at this thing for many, many years, 15, 20 years we've been working on this. And so when we bring people in, the first thing we do is we take them through course number 1, which is called Starting Smart. And that's where we really help you build out your battle plan. What your client acquisition goals are going to be, how your revenue is going to ramp up over time, how your cash flow is going to accumulate, your cash is going to accumulate as you're bringing on clients. And that's course number 1. Course number 2 in our learning management system is called lead generation. We teach the big 8 lead generation strategies, and we recommend that you choose just 3. We don't want you to spread too thin. Just choose 3 lead generation strategies, master them. We bring you into a cohort of coaches led by one of our certified coaches. And one of the things that's really, we just think is so cool. We've got quite a few certified coaches that are working with new business coaches around the world. But all of our certified coaches are doing at least $20,000 per month. So they're real master practitioners of this business. And many of our certified coaches are doing 30, 40, even 50,000 a month. So the people that teach you our system are really living it, really doing it, including me. I've got coaching clients. We're just doing this thing. And so when you go through course number 2 and you're learning the lead generation strategies, you're going to be taught by someone who's actually using it in the field. Course 3 is seminars and webinars, how you use webinars to build a relationship with people. A lot of people in this age of content marketing, they want to spend 6, 7, or 8 hours with you virtually, digitally, before they're even interested in talking with you. So they're reading, they're consuming content, and that's the way we build relationships these days. So we'll teach you how to do seminars and webinars. And then course number 4, you're learning the silver bullet call, which is the diagnostic conversation. So it's typically a phone call. You're talking to that business owner about what's going on in their business, where they're feeling some pain. And then you're identifying the solutions that you're going to need to bring into that business. We call them silver bullets, but the solutions you're going to need to bring into that business to resolve their issues, take away their pain, help their business become more successful. Then in course 5, we teach you how to do the complimentary coaching session, which is essentially a free coaching session that ends in an opportunity for them to invest in coaching. And then you bring out the coaching program agreement, they sign up, and then you become their coach. And then courses 6 and 7, we're teaching you how to coach your new clients. And so it's all laid out for you. We have some people who come to us and they've actually gone through a free trial and have studied all of our videos and are ready to begin because they've already studied our videos. If you don't want to study the videos ahead of time, you can do what we call just-in-time learning. So you can watch the videos as you need them. So we can accommodate any learning style. We just want you to get out there, start winning, start helping business owners.
That's absolutely awesome. And you have people that onboard all the time, and you're not just a program, Eric, where you just give someone some manuals or some videos. You're an immersive program. You've got Facebook plant programs going on. You've got immersive video calls. You've got coaches that are coaching. You've got weekly calls going on for your participants where they Zoom and they share all their wins, and perhaps if there are some things that they need to improve on, your coaches help them with that as well. What do you say to a person watching this that says, listen, I love this idea. I want to become a coach, but I don't want to really have to do a lot of the sales and marketing to get those leads in. What do you say to that kind of a person? Because sometimes people in business, they don't have that kind of expertise, but yet they have all the other expertise. So can you help them in that regard as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. For many, many years, we've observed there are some coaches, business coaches, who are real good technicians. Again, maybe it's operations, operational excellence, finance, Lean Six Sigma, whatever it is. And you just want to coach business owners. And we certainly understand that, but I remember when I was first getting into this business back in 2000, okay, so here we are, a couple decades ago, a mentor that I was talking to said, hey, if you want to be a good, trusted advisor in the typical SMB, small to mid-sized business, you're going to need to be good at least two things. Now, maybe more, but at least two things you're going to need to be good at. And one of them is going to be selling, and the other is going to be managing money. Okay. And so what we've always explained to business coaches is, hey, if you're going to really be an effective business coach, you're going to have to be good at teaching the skills required to do revenue generation. And that means marketing and sales. And again, some coaches just want to do the coaching, but in the world of small and mid-sized business, all these disciplines kind of run together. You can be talking to a business owner one day and they want to talk to you about their team, hiring, firing, and the next day they're talking about how to land that big account, and you've just got to pivot. So if you've got one narrow area of expertise, that's okay. We're going to fill in all the other areas and bring them up, because that's going to help you be successful as a business coach. So don't worry about the areas that you don't know, don't understand. If you don't think you're good at marketing and sales, we will teach you, because you're going to have to be. And the same is true of finance. We're going to teach you all those other discipline areas where you may feel a little weak.
That's awesome. And I know you only have a limited amount of time because of your very tight schedule today. So I do, again, thank you for coming out. But one thing that you said did lead me to another question that came to mind for our people watching the show. So you mentioned you had a mentor, and the mentor had mentioned a couple things that you need to be good at. And one of the things that your mentor said that you need to be good at is selling or sales, right? So someone watching the show, maybe they might have a question about their sales ability. So they might not want to pick up the phone or look you up online or take a webinar from you, Eric, because they might be saying to themselves, I've got everything else. I've got the expertise. I can help people with their business. I can follow this systematic plan that Eric's put together for me. But yet I don't really have that sales ability. I think I'm lacking in sales a little bit. Do you help them with the selling process, and how do you do that? And if you do, then it sounds like you just have the complete program.
Yeah, we really do. In fact, I would say we are probably known around the world for the efficacy, the completeness of our sales process. We've learned over the years this is the number one fear. I mean, there are three great fears that most prospective business coaches have. The one is, what am I going to deliver? What service am I going to deliver? Well, the 5 steps to freedom I just showed you a moment ago, along with the silver bullets, the 21 silver bullets that are basically tactics that we use to help business. I mean, that's what we deliver, and it's amazing. And the results we get are very, very, they're just really profound. But the second big fear is, okay, where am I going to get the leads? And how am I going to communicate so that people want to learn more about the service? And the third fear is sales. How am I going to sell? And so, yeah, we've developed a sales process. We refer to it as the 17 Ps, and it starts with, how you prepare yourself physically and mentally to have an interaction with the business owner. It might be face-to-face, or it might be on a Zoom call. And then what do you say when you show up? Again, on Zoom or on the premise, what do you say? How do you interact? What do you say to get the sales interaction started properly? How do you explain your purpose for being there? How do you position your price, and how do you position your background? Then how do you diagnose the problem and the pain? And then how do you pivot and start presenting, what we call the silver bullets, the solutions? And then once you've built the rapport and you've got agreement from the business owner on these are the solutions that are needed, how do you then pivot over and then propose coaching as a solution? Well, we've got this in our 17P sales process. We've got coaching program agreement, that you can use. You take our logo off, you put your logo on, because it's a white label system. And so this entire 17Ps process goes all the way to the end, where you do a risk removal financial model. We call it the profit equation. And then at the very end, when you collect payment, you give them their first few goals. So we call it the 17 Ps. We expect most new coaches to be able to convert at least 25% of their complimentary coaching sessions into a paid engagement. But over the years, we've seen coaches evolve in their use of the system to where they're converting 75 or 80% of their sales calls. And we do have some coaches that are converting at 100% because they've just gotten so good at the sales process. So if you can follow a process, if you can be disciplined around it, if you can just give yourself to a process and learn it, you're going to be fine.
That is most awesome. So you teach people how to sell. I know you're big on the who, what, where, when, why, and how questions, teaching people how to ask the right questions so that they get the answers that they're going to want to get to help close a deal, if you will. And you give this entire system to someone as well as a sales system. So you're actually a sales coach to the business coach who's learning how to coach from the coach's coach. Is that right?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know it's very hard for people to get in to see you because your schedule gets booked up so quickly and people are literally lined up to want to talk to you about this opportunity. But I'm hoping that you can make time for people who see this video and maybe mention it to get them slotted in, at least to talk to you about the opportunity. And I know you're going to do that for me. And if people do want to reach out to you, how do they reach out to you, Eric? Tell us where they go and how they get kind of slotted in, at least to talk to you about this incredible opportunity.
Sure. I would encourage people to go to businesscoachrockstar.com. So just like it sounds, businesscoachrockstar.com. We've got a training video there that'll take you 20 minutes to get through, and you can watch it fast if you want. But go to businesscoachrockstar.com, watch that training video, and if it seems like a fit, if it resonates, and you kind of think, yeah, I think this could be for me, then just book a slot. Give us a little information so we know what you've already got cooking, and then we'll spend some time with you and just explore the whole thing, see if we're a good fit.
That is most awesome. And make sure you mention that you saw Eric on DotCom Magazine, of course. And thank you so much for being on the show. I'm sure our viewers are going to love it and reach out to you to find out more about this opportunity. And you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Andy, thanks so much. And thank you for facilitating this conversation. You're an amazing host. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you.